Y'all, we are getting fancy. Hi, everybody. I booked a study room at the library to make this video. Okay, not just to make this video. I had an interview prior to this, so wish me luck. Let's hope I got that job. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about what it's like to visit a CDCR or a California State Prison. I feel like this is a very necessary video, and I'm going to literally, this might take a while because it's like 12, 15 or more steps on what it is exactly from when you arrive to when you leave. It is very detailed, very extensive. I don't know if it's expensive, but it is extensive. This is extensive information, so get ready. All right, so first things first, when you drive in or you drive up to the prison. Oh, here we go. I'm only talking about Centinela State Prison in Imperial, California, because that's where my husband's at. That's where I know what the process is like, and I cannot guarantee or tell you that, oh, all prisons are the same, all processes are the same. No, they are not. Other prisons run things differently. Even High Desert ran things slightly differently. This is my experience at Centinela State Prison, which is a California state prison, but there's like 33 or 35 California state prisons that they might do things differently. So this is not like gospel for this. This is even, I can't even say it's gospel for Centinela. This is my experience and my experience only. Other people might have different experiences, but I want someone that's a first timer to be able to know what it is like or what to expect when you visit a prison in general in California. And again, this one's specifically for Centinela. So now, you'll know what to do and how to act or react, hopefully, to like the situations as they arise. And I kind of wish someone would have done this for me 6+ years ago when I was visiting High Desert State Prison for the very first time in Susanville. But yeah, it didn't occur to me to make this video 6 years ago, but I guess I should have. All right. So when you first drive in or drive up to the prison, you're going to be waiting outside of the prison. Not always. Like if you get there a little bit later than the time, then yeah, you probably just drive right in. But if you drive up to the prison and you see a very, very long line of cars up to even sometimes up to the stop sign and past the stop sign that are kind of like off to the right-hand side of the road. They're not in the road. They're kind of off the road in like the dirt area. Get into the line, get into the car line. I don't care if you have an appointment, you don't have an appointment, I don't care if it doesn't matter. You're there, you get into the car line. You need to use a restroom, go to a restroom off site, because you're not going to get onto prison grounds just, oh, I'm here. No. There's people waiting in line from like 5 or 7 o'clock in the morning that they've all been waiting there diligently and patiently waiting for, when it's 8:15, whatever the time is. When it becomes the time, there will be a person that comes in, like I think a pickup truck or something that's like a guard that comes and notifies the person at the head of the line, the first person there, and then they tell them, come on in, okay? So we have to wait for that. So that's what happens if you arrive early, that there will be a car line. And yeah, just go ahead and get in the car line. So I put, please wait in the car line. It will start moving when the guard gives the first car the signal between about 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. All right, number 2. Drive up to the gatehouse. All right, again, there's going to be probably a bunch of cars that are all going in the same direction and stopping at the gatehouse. Everyone has to stop at that little gatehouse, and they will have to, provide their ID. They show their ID to the guard, and then the guard in turn, let's see, it says stop, hand over your ID or driver's license to the guard. Be prepared to open your trunk of your vehicle. Roll down your windows if they ask you to. They hand you a slip of paper that is like about that big. It's kind of like not a big piece of paper. And that you're required to fill this out and sign it, the back and the front of it. So don't forget to sign the front of it and the back of that little piece of paper. Now, don't fill it out right there because, again, there's a car line of people behind you waiting. That is not the moment to fill out that piece of paper. The moment to fill out that piece of paper is once you're in the parking lot. You've parked your vehicle. Everyone's, the vehicle is stopped and parked in the parking lot. And or once you're going inside and you're waiting around anyway, because you will be waiting around in the processing line for a little bit, that's the time that you can, fill out that piece of paper. If you don't have a pen, I've mentioned in some other previous video that at Centinela we have like a slew of pens, a bunch of pens on top of like this little payphone thing. I don't know if that payphone works, but that's where we keep the pens, on top of the payphone thing. Let's see. Number 3, you go park in the visiting or visitors area. So when you first drive into the prison, again, usually there's other cars that would be ahead of you, so you'll see that they'll all turn right at a specific point into like that first parking lot. Do not go into the second parking lot that is for the COs. Please do not commit that mistake or error. All right. again, this is your chance to go fill out your paperwork, get, all gussied up, reapply your makeup, make sure your lipstick's on right, whatever it is that you need to do to prepare to go in for visit. This is when you have the time to do it in your car. Although it's not highly recommended, especially if it's your first visit, for you to take too much time doing that, because you kind of want to get into that processing line fairly quickly. So again, you can fill out your slip of paper in your car if you have a pen there, or again, in the processing line, there's plenty of pens usually on top of the, hold on, gotta go turn the lights back on. I'm in a place with the lights turn off automatically. Give me a second here. All right, they're back on. All right, they're back on. We're no longer in darkness. That's gonna happen every so often. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. All right, where were we? You fill out your paperwork, you touch up the makeup, you leave your cell phone in the car. Leave your cell phone, all electronics, all iWatches, any kind of electronic watch that you are wearing that you think is mighty cool, which it probably is, leave that in your car, please, for the love of God. So electronics, I once had a little, tracker for my steps that was electronic. I forgot I had it clipped to my bra at high desert. And they're really strict, so of course the machine went off, and I'm like, oops. And they're like, what do you have in there? When I pulled it out, the girl was she was like, I don't know what she expected me to pull out of my bra, but it wasn't that. I'm like, it's a step counter. I totally forgot I had it. Let me go, return it to my vehicle. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. No problem. I completely forgot it was on me. It happens. It's a mistake. One time, my husband's niece tried to bring in a camera, like a digital camera. That's a no-go. I had to go return that to the car as well. So just please, no electronics of any kind, no matter how small. Now, if you have an internal pacemaker or some other device that is electronical inside of your body that's different, please just bring a doctor's note and make sure that you bring a doctor's note and call in advance just to make sure that everything's good with that. Or if you have any kind of metal inside your body, same thing. If you have metal inside your body, make sure you have a doctor's note that explains where inside your body it is located. And again, you provide that to the COs or the guards during the processing once your process is through. So all of that's very important. You fill out your paperwork, you touch up your makeup, you leave your cell phone in the car. All electronics left in the car, please, please, please. So you walk in, you stand in line. There's usually 2 lines. All you have to do is ask, hey, which one is the appointment line? Or, hey, which one is the walk-in line? Anyone might happily tell you, maybe not happily, but they'll let you know, oh, hey, this one's for appointments. Oh, this other one over here to the side, this one's for the walk-ins. Okay, cool. You get into the back of the line once you arrive. Okay, so your walk-in lines, aka non-appointments. Please be aware, this is a note. It is on the website for Centinela, for CDCR prisons under Centinela. It says, please be aware that there are no longer any walk-ins for non-contact or behind the glass visits at Centinela. So you have to make an appointment via email about a week in advance. So I think it's from Saturday starting at 8 a.m. until I think Monday at 8 a.m. You have that little window of time to submit an email with all the proper information. If you need to know what the proper information is, I'll try to put in the notes down below what the information is that you'll need. Whatever information you'll need, again, it should be posted on the website. So just do a Google search, CDCR, Centinela State Prison, or whatever prison you're visiting. So CDCR, which is the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. CDCR, name of the prison you're visiting. It should pop up with the information that you need for visiting. Sometimes you might want to check that in advance, because a couple of days in advance it might say, oh, the prison's on lockdown or something and no visits. So you got to look and see if the thing is green or red, or letting you know what information you might need, or you can even call visiting and find out. All right, so then you stand around in line for, I don't know, it could be an hour or 2. It depends on how long. Sometimes they start processing on time, more or less, and things run swiftly. Sometimes they don't. Have patience. It is a long process, and I know people, children, others get desperate when there's nothing to do, when you're used to having your cell phone with you at all times. Have some patience. You're at a prison. You're visiting someone there. Oh, again, this is a level 3-4 prison. So a level 4 prison is the highest level you can have of prisons. At least that's the section my husband in. He's a level 4 prisoner. I think there's also level 3s there, and I think there's a lower level called the E-yard people, E like elephant. So E-yard is a special, I think they're level 1 or 2. I don't know. They have a much lower level. They get special, there's a car that will literally take you to E-yard, E like elephant. I don't have much information about that, so I don't know. As far as I know, everyone else that's in yards A through D, I believe, are levels 3 and 4. But again, I believe I don't have 100%. I know what level my husband's at, which is again level 4. That's all I can, tell you what I know. All right, so then you wait around and wait for you to be called into the processing area. So when you walk through this door, there's a door, there will be a guard there. He has a list. Your name should be on that list if you have already made a previous appointment on the VSA system. It's called VSA. If you have put in your application to become an approved visitor and you got approved, then you can go onto the VSA app and claim your account. I might someday in the future make a video explaining how you claim an account, but I would have to have someone's information that is a brand new person, and I don't really know how to do that yet to cover up important information for people, so that you don't see their address and phone number and all their other pertinent special information. So wait to be called. They used to do a numbering system for the walk-ins, but I don't know if they do that anymore. It used to be like a first come, first serve, but like I said, don't know if they're doing that anymore. All right. So once you get past that, person that with the list, you're on the list if you have an appointment, and obviously you're not going to be on the list if you don't have an appointment. As a walk-in, you're welcome to walk in for regular contact visits, but not for the non-contact visits. Non-contact or behind the glass visits, you have to make an appointment via email about a week in advance. If you do not do that, they're not going to let you walk in. And I'm so sorry if you drove from far away or came in from a foreign country. If you came in from a foreign country and you're over 250 miles away, they might make an exception for you. But that's something you need to talk about with the visiting staff. And I highly recommend that if you're visiting from that far away, to call them about a week or two in advance to find out whatever you need to have with you, paperwork-wise, or again, about making an appointment on time. Definitely call up to 2 weeks in advance, maybe even earlier, to find out everything you need to have with you for your very first visit if you're visiting from super far away, especially if it's 250 miles out. They usually make some sort of special exceptions or accommodations if you're visiting from far away, or it's your very first time visiting from far away. Okay, let's see. You will be asked to remove your shoes when you're getting processed in. So you will go up to I think there's 2 or 3 guards that will be processing at a time. COs, otherwise known as guards. Correctional officers, which I will either say COs, correctional officers, or guards. Either terms for me are interchangeable. The CO, you will go up to them. You will hand them this small piece of paper where you filled out all your info and you signed the front and the back. That little piece of paper, your ID, your money, your little clear baggie where your money and your key and your ID are in that little baggie. All of that goes into a gray bin. The gray bins are kind of like the ones that they use at the airport. So if you've traveled, you'll be used to seeing those gray bins. You put all your stuff in there. So you take your shoes off, you put your shoes in the bin, put in all your money, your ID, and your car key in there. You can wear, necklace charms, you can wear earrings, you can wear rings, you can wear all kinds of stuff you can wear, but that little piece of paper, that's where you would write down how many of whatever you're wearing. If I happen to have say a tongue ring, I don't, but if I did, if I happen to have a tongue ring, I'd write down 1 tongue ring, 1 necklace, 1 charm, 1 ring, and I'd write this down on the little list on that little piece of paper that they give you. All right, so take your shoes off. Sometimes they'll ask you to open your mouth and go like this, to make sure there's nothing inside your mouth, no contraband. All right, they sometimes will ask you to check your pockets. They'll have you, do this and be like, no, there's nothing in my pockets, or your pants pockets, same thing. Sometimes they'll ask you to turn around. They don't always ask you to do all these things, but sometimes they do. So be aware that you'll be asked to do certain things that sound a little funny or weird in order to prove to them that you're not bringing in anything illicit like contraband. So then they ask you to walk through a metal detector. What on earth just happened? Okay, sorry, something just popped up on my screen. I'm sorry. Okay, something popped up on my screen all of a sudden and it threw me off, so sorry about that. You walk through a metal detector, again, just like the airport, except you don't have to do this whole bit like the airport has you do, you just walk through. But maybe not quickly, it's not too quick or too slow, you just walk through like regular walking through something, and it's like an arch. And it will go off again if there's metal in your bra, if there's metal in your body, if you have metal anywhere, this thing will detect it, it will set it off, they'll ask you to come right back through the thing, and hopefully they'll wand you, they'll bring out the wand that goes, beep, 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 all that. Maybe they'll do that for you, but not always. They may or may not ask you to go change your clothes, stuff like that. That has happened. All right, so then they check your little list to see what jewelry you brought in, all that. All of this happens when they're, the thing with the gray bin, and they ask you to, check the inside of your mouth, da, da, da. Number 7, yeah, I know, this list, like I said, is very extensive. On the other side of the metal detector, you will break out your right arm. Show them your wrist. They're going to put an invisible stamp on there. The invisible stamp, or the invisible ink stamp, whatever, says something like Centinela State Prison on it. And on your way out the door, they're supposed to check for that with the what is that, purple light? Black light, whatever. They're supposed to check for that stamp on your way out the door, so be careful when you wash your hands and stuff like that. Just letting you know, they're supposed to. They don't always, but hey. You put on your right arm or your wrist for your right arm so that they can stamp you. Welcome to the Prison Visiting Club. You've got a stamp now. LOL. All right, get your shoes on when you're there, standing on the other side. You gather up all your paperwork. So during this whole paperwork time, because your ID was in the gray bin and you handed over your little slip of paper, then they're going to give you a full-size piece of paper that's like 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that has your loved one's face in black and white on the upper right-hand corner, and a bunch of other info about you and him, and or you and her. I don't really know if you're visiting a man or a woman for the first time, because there's I believe at least 3 female prisons that I'm aware of in the state of California. Maybe there's more. I really don't know. Please don't, ask or quote me on this. We have the internet for a reason, people. All right. Yes, I think I'm hilarious. Okay. Get your shoes back on. You gather up all your paperwork. So that piece of paper with your loved one's face on it, your small piece of paper, your ID, your money, your car key, all of that. You gather this together, put it away, and then you're going to walk out these, let's see, there's at least 2 doors. 3 doors? 3 doors. Okay, so once you've gathered all of this, you get ready to walk out the doors. Yay! You walk out the doors. You walk out of the processing area that you're in, that secondary area that's past the metal detector. You're going to walk through these doors. That's a regular door, and it's actually a heavy door, just so you know. That door's kind of heavy. You open up that door, and you get into this little section area where there's going to be a gate that looks like a chain link fence. That gate kind of opens out like this. Once you're in that little area, you kind of just wait. Make sure that the door behind you closed. You wait. There's someone that's up in a, I don't know what it's called, bird's nest area. They will see that you're in that little area, and they will open up the chain link gate to let you through to the next area. The second section has another chain link fence, I believe. And once the one behind you closes, then the one in front of you will open. Then you're out in the actual prison, and you either take off to the left-hand side when you're going to A and B yard, or to the right-hand side if you're visiting C or D yard. This stuff is important. You should hopefully know what yard you're visiting. In case that you don't know which yard you're visiting, it should be listed on that piece of paper that has your loved one's face on it. Or you can always ask the processing guards right before you exit out to these doors, hey, do you know which yard I'm visiting? That's important to know. So just saying. All right, let's see. Oh, I called them a cage because the chain link fence thing, it makes you feel like you're in a cage. They kind of feel like cages. Walk to the second cage. Okay, so left A and B yards, right C and D yards. E yard is not out there. E yard is in a whole nother area. I don't know where E yard is. I've never been to E yard. I just know that it's they drive people there. That's all I know. Please don't ask me information. I just know it's a lower custody yard, maybe level 1 or 2. And that I've heard that that's the yard that people are in when they're leaving from Centinela State Prison. When I say leaving, it means they've been allowed to leave. They've paroled, they've finished their sentence, whatever it is. That's where you would be, and you wouldn't be in E yard for long before you get to go home. So if your loved one is in E yard, that should give you some hope that they'll hopefully be coming home soon, because they probably won't spend much time in E yard before getting to go home. So at least that's what I've heard. And again, please don't quote me on this. This is just what I've gathered or learned along the way, or I believe I've learned along the way. I'm hoping that I'm giving you good information. Step number 8, you walk into your visiting yard building. So when I go to C yard. So when I go to C yard, I'll see C yard here and D yard here. So there's 2 doors. C yard is the one I'm going to go to, the one on my left. D yard is to my right. If you, for some reason, get confused or end up in the wrong yard, hopefully the guard that's at the desk in your little area will probably let you know, hey, you're in the wrong yard, and they'll try to hopefully direct you to the appropriate yard that you should be in. All right, so you walk into that little area, and there's someone sitting at a desk, a guard sitting at the desk. So what you're going to hand him is all of your paperwork. the paper with your loved one's face on it and the little piece of paper, and they're going to once again check and make sure that you have, for me, one necklace, one charm, one ring, if I'm wearing glasses or sunglasses, what else could I have possibly brought? Okay, that's mainly what I bring. The stuff you see on me is usually what I take to visit, so it is what it is. All right, they'll check that stuff at that desk guard will check your stuff. They're the person that has the key that will let you into the visiting area. Okay, so you hand him all of the paperwork. They're going to review your items, and they're going to keep the big paper that has your loved one's face on it. So that piece of paper stays with that guard. Now, what you're going to have with you then is just a little piece of paper and your ID. These two items you're going to take with you once you walk into the big visiting area. All right, maybe it's not that big, but whatever. It's like a large area that looks kind of like a cafeteria because there's these little round tables all set up everywhere, and there's vending machines, and there's all kinds of stuff. So you walk to the visiting area. It looks kind of like a large cafeteria, as mentioned, with tables and chairs, a kids area, vending machines, and a tall desk called a podium. You are to approach the podium, which is literally you walk in and you go beeline towards the center of the room. Your beeline should be towards the center of the room, towards that high desk called the podium, because that's where you're going to hand over the little piece of paper with your ID. They're going to keep your ID and the little piece of paper, and they're going to assign you a table number. Now, for me, I don't have contact visits, so they assign me a window number, window 1, 2, or 3. So I get assigned a window number, and I go over to the window and I wait for my husband to come out. If you were assigned a table number, you can ask the guard, hey, I don't know what table number is where it's located, and they'll kind of try to point it out to you. Oh, table number 7 or whatever is located over there. They'll try to explain to you where it's at. But I believe, at least they used to, have the table numbers on the round tables themselves. Now, once you've been assigned a table and you have your little baggie with your coins and your dollar bills in there, you can go to the vending machines and you can get started early on what you think your loved one might want to eat or drink. You don't have to. I just recommend it so that sometimes it happens where the vending machines run out of food. They don't always restock from one day to the next, so I would say the best day to visit is probably on Friday. So there's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday visits. At Centinela, there's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in-person visits. And on Friday, the visits start at around, 12 p.m., 12 or 3. I don't remember what time they start. Oh, it's been a while. I think they start at 12 and end by 6 or 7 p.m. And then on Saturday and Sunday, they start around 8:30-ish and end by 3 p.m., 2:30, 3 p.m. at the latest. Again, it's been a while for me in the contact visit, so I'm sorry if I don't have all of the information. It's approximations. We also have Facebook pages. If your husband is at any specific prison in California, do a Facebook search. More than likely, there's a prison wife page or prison wives and loved ones page that can give you more information about what visiting is like there, or what is visiting like at that location. You may probably be asked to provide information like a letter from your loved one that states that he or she is already at said prison, because those groups want to keep people safe and want people in the group that have a loved one at that facility. Only because sometimes, say, COs or other people from the outside want to gain access to the stuff that we talk about, which is maybe it's not that important to other people, but it is to us. That's we talk about maybe a lot of stuff that's personal. And the lights went out again, so hold on. We gotta go wave our hand around at this thing. That didn't last very long. Okay, it didn't feel like it lasted very long. Maybe it lasts 10 minutes at a time or something. I don't know. It's clearly on a timer of some sort. Walk into the visiting area. Yes, the large cafeteria. You hand the guard your ID and your little paper. They're going to hold on to it during your visit. For a contact visit, they will assign you a numbered table to sit at. And a non-contact visit, they assign you a window or a booth. I wouldn't call it a booth. I call it a window. Numbers 1 through 3. When you're at the window, there's a little phone thing. He grabs the phone, you grab the phone, and that's how you talk. And that glass is, I would say it's at least this thick in the middle. I don't know. That's just my guess. What is that, an inch or 2? Maybe almost 2 inches? I don't know. But it's a pretty thick piece of glass. I think it is. I don't know. I've never really measured it. Who knows? All right, so you literally wait around for your loved one to show up. Again, if you have a contact visit, those are the best types of visits to have, besides family visits. And that's a whole other video for another day that I can't even speak about because we've never had family visits. Yes, I know, so sad for us, but it is what it is. All right, so For a regular contact visit, like I said, you go to the vending machine, you get the food, you get your drinks, or you can choose to sit at your table and just wait for your loved one, and your loved one, will walk with you to the vending machines. I think that's allowed now. And they'll let you know what they would like for you to get for them. But they're not allowed to touch your money. They're not allowed to touch the vending machines as far as I know. And they have these little yellow lines around that says they're not allowed to go past this point. I would say be very careful and wary of these things that you may not see at first, but they're aware of where they can and cannot go. So just be aware of that. Oh, always be aware of your surroundings. That's something my husband taught me. All right. So again, I wait around for my loved one to show up, whether it's a contact visit or a behind the glass at the window visit. Sometimes I wait a while. If I've been waiting for longer than 15 minutes, and nowadays there is a big clock up there so you can keep track of the time, try to remember around what time you walked in, or if it feels like longer than 15 minutes, you have every right to walk up to the podium and ask them, hey, can you guys call my loved one again? And if not the podium, then the guy at the desk, you just have to kind of go and knock at the window and see if he'll let you out to talk to him. 1 or 2, if you need to use the restroom, that's the same thing you would do. If you need to use the restroom, you go back to that area through the door where you walked into the visiting room, and you would be allowed to walk out to use the restroom that's like in that little section there. All right, so you wait for your loved one to show up. Sometimes this takes a while. So after 15 or up to 20 minutes or so, you're allowed to approach the podium and respectfully ask for them to call your loved one again. Then from there, enjoy your visit. Enjoy the time that you spend with your loved one. You can hug and kiss them briefly upon their arrival and upon their departure. When I say their departure, it means that you're leaving the visiting room and they're going back to their cell. So when they get there and when they leave, they're allowed to hug you and give you a kiss. And that's all very brief. So there you go. That's what you get there. So at the end of the visit, you get your brief hug and kiss. Once again, I hope you enjoyed your visit. They're going to give you back your ID and your little piece of paper that has, again, all the stuff that you have on you. Then you get the big paper back with their picture on it once you go see that guard that's at the desk right outside the visiting door. So he's going to once again make sure that you still have, again, one necklace, one charm. I don't know. I put this on as a bracelet on the last video. One ring. So they'll check and make sure that all the stuff that I have and was wearing when I walked in, that I still have all of the stuff when I walk out. They check all of that. So you get your big piece of paper back from them, and he or she will review that you still have all your personal items. You walk out of the processing area and you literally go back out to where you were processed in. You're going to get processed out. By that I mean you're going to hand over all of your paperwork to the person at the out processing. So literally those little cages you walked in through, you're going to walk out through those same little cages back into the processing room, and you're going to be in that little section that's between the metal detector and that door that I said is a heavy door, and they're going to check for your invisible ink stamp. Make sure that you still have that. They're going to check your paperwork that you have. All of these items, once again, they check that a lot. And let's see. They're going to give you back everything. So you're going to have everything back except their paperwork. Their paperwork means that paper that has your loved one's face on it in black and white, that's theirs. They keep that. That little piece of paper where you wrote down your info and signed the back and the front, they keep that as well. So those 2 paperwork items, they keep that. You keep your ID, you have your car key and all your stuff with you. You walk out the doors. The metal detectors may or may not go off again on your way out. Why? Because you now have like a car key with you in your possession on your person walking through that metal detector. It's not a big deal. You just keep walking. No big issue. I do recommend that if you need to use the restroom, right then is the moment to use the restroom. Maybe grab a Gatorade or a water out of their vending machine that's in that little section, because you probably have a long drive ahead of you, or you may want to stop by the Sealy Market. Sealy Market. It's this place. They have like Mexican food, and they have like, it's like a little convenience store, so you can, get drinks there as well. But I don't know about you guys, after I'm done with visit, and I'm actually, speaking of, I need water right now. Let's just say it, I talk a lot, so I need a lot of water. So usually by the end of visit, I'm very thirsty. Oh, for a non-contact visit behind the glass, me personally, not everyone has to do like I do. Me personally, I usually buy a bottle of water. Bottle of water there right now costs $2. So when I take money with me now to visit my husband, I maybe take $5 in cash in singles. That's it. Not a $5 bill. Do not take big bills with you. Do not take $5 bills. Do not take 10, 20s, 50s. Don't take big bills. Do not walk in with your debit card or a credit card. That is not accepted currency for the vending machines. They will literally turn you away. Tell you, please go put this back in your car. They will literally do that to you. So don't bring in big bills. $1 bills, quarters, the $quarter. I think I have some with me. Bear with me. I think I actually did acquire some somewhere recently-ish. If I can find my change purse, we can talk about this. Yes, I know I should have been more prepared for this video. All right, we've got our typical $1 bills. Bring in your $1 bills. Bring in, here we go, some coins that are like dollar coins. So this is the old Susan B. Anthony $1 coin. I think on there somewhere it says $1 at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. These are the newer type ones with Sacagawea, whatever her name is, with the baby on the back of her. And I think they also say $1 on them. Okay, there's a $1 thingy here. So like the number symbol for like S with the line and the one, again, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. Or even these with like the presidential ones. So this I think is George Washington, and on the back it says, you know, it's got the Statue of Liberty, and then it says $1. So these $1 coins and any variation, these are acceptable. The dollar bills are acceptable. Or quarters, see if I have any quarters, I should. Quarters, 25-cent coins. 25-cent coins, $1 coins, or $1 bills. All acceptable currency for the vending machines at Centinela. There are other places that might ask you to put it on a little cart. If that's the case, that's a whole nother prison, and I don't have information about those. That's, like I said, this is why we have Facebook. A lot of us have a lot of Facebook pages for specific prisons within the state of California that usually the people there are very helpful and willing to provide information about their specific facility, what visiting is like, and what you can and cannot bring, etc., etc. So there you go. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't mention that at the beginning. I think I forgot. I'm sorry. All right, so you get your big piece of paper back. Make sure you still have all your personal items. You walk out of the processing place, the same place however you got in there, and then they check your hand stamp. I mentioned that. Your items again. You walk out, you get in your car, you drive to the gate, you show your ID at the gate, you open up your trunk again at the gate, you have a nice drive back home and or to your hotel motel. I really think that prison wives and prison loved ones, we should get discounts at prisons, hotels and motels close to the prisons. I'm not going to tell you that they all do, but it doesn't hurt to ask. So if you say, hey, I come here every weekend, every other weekend, I'm wondering if there's any kind of prison wife discount or prison loved one discount. Maybe you'll get a discount. You never know if you don't ask. So I would say ask, because, what is it? Ask and ye shall receive. Well, if you never ask, then you'll never know. So ask so that you can get a yes, maybe, or a no. That's also a possibility. But if you never ask, then you'll never get a discount of any kind. You could just ask. Be like, hey, I come here once a month, or twice a month, once a week, whatever, however often you visit. If you want a discount on the hotel motel, you can ask. No guarantees, but I really think we should have some kind of program like AARP or AAA or something, but for prison wives. I have yet to invent that, and I don't think it's out there, but I really think that we could definitely use something like that because it would help. Okay, yes, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Everyone stay happy and healthy. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.